Okay. Welcome participants to this soil admissions webinar organized by the School of Inspired Leadership. And today we'll be actually taking you through some of the experiences of some of our alumni who had recently passed out from our school, and they have experienced the soil admissions process. The idea is just to share with you some of their experiences of how they managed the admission process, what were the typicalities of the admission process, how the admission process is different from other B schools, what is it that soil looks at, and if this information is of any help to you, you can probably build yourself up accordingly and prepare accordingly. And in the process, we will actually discuss for a few minutes, and then we will leave the forum open. Some of the participants who are here who would like to ask questions, if they have any doubts, they can ask about the process. You can also ask about your, if you have doubts about the program, because all these students who are here with me, the alumni, I will introduce you gradually to all of them, and I'll ask them to speak also about themselves. They will probably tell you what is it that brought them to soil and what is it that they have taken away from soil. So they're all successful corporate leaders now, and they have been in the industry for quite a few years now. So that also they will share with you. Let me start with introducing, first of all, my colleagues who are here with me. Dheeraj Kumar Pradhan is here as Deputy Head of Admissions. He takes care of the admission process here. He has recently joined SOIL. He has long years of experience in the admission process. So, Dheeraj, if you can say 2 minutes about yourself, then I'll move to somebody else.
Thank you so much, sir. Well, good evening, everybody in the room, including the alumni and then, of course, the aspirants who are planning to take their career to the next height. And I've joined SOIL recently, but then you have 16 years of experience in the education industry, alongside taking the entire admissions process. And the selection process at SOIL, what I feel is something very unique in nature, where we're able to understand how we should be looking at either the holistic development of the student, plus what are the other attributes that should be looking into a particular candidate in terms of different personality traits, if I say. So,
we'll talk about the details, Pradhan. I just wanted a little bit of introduction of ourselves.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, Pradhan. I have with me Kevin Vyavahara. He is actually a unique character. He's an alumni, plus he's my colleague. So he actually chose to come back to SOIL and work for SOIL. So something probably was fascinating about the environment that probably brought him back. So Kevin, you can briefly talk about what you did before SOIL, and then what after SOIL.
Thank you, sir. Good evening, everyone. So I take care of the 1-year PGPM program. So before joining SOIL, I was working with HT Media, and before that, I was working with telecom companies. So I have experience with media industry, telecom industry, and somewhere down the line, I had an inclination towards education sector, and that is one of the reasons I've come back to SOIL. So you'll hear more about the SOIL process, and I would suggest it would be better if we hear from the horse's mouth, from the alumni who have joined us, how they have went through the process. Thank you.
Good. Great, Kevin. Now we have with us 1, 2, 3, 4 alumni. And we will actually now talk to all these 4 alumni, and they will briefly talk about their past, that is before SOIL, and then what they are doing now after SOIL. They'll talk about that, and then we will have individual questions. I'll ask individual questions to each of these alumni about their experience of the SOIL process, the admissions process, and maybe their experience at SOIL. So let me start with the choice goes first to Shivika Mathur. So if you can just share, what were you doing before SOIL, which companies you worked with, then SOIL, and then after SOIL, which are the companies you have been working with?
Sure, sir. Thank you. So when I joined SOIL, before that, I had 4 years of work experience as a software developer in TCS. So after my BTech, I joined TCS and was doing software development majorly. But then what I wanted to go ahead with my career, I wanted a holistic and a broader view of what we are doing. So that's why I quit my job and I opted for this course. So this is not just an MBA or just a management course. Here you get a holistic and a broadened point of view of your thought process. So after Soil, I got placed in a startup company which is Benepic, and I worked there for almost 1.5 years as a product manager. And currently, I'm with Expedia Group and as a product manager. So yeah, this is about me in a short.
Very good, Shivika. So from software development to a product manager, from
Yeah.
a typically technical role to maybe a marketing role, and
So yeah, so joining Soil, my main idea of joining Soil was to enhance my previous work experience to business domain. So how can I leverage my previous technical experience as well along with my business role? So that's why I opted for product management role. So here I can uh, consume my Soil experience, my previous 4 years of work experience as a software developer. Yeah.
very good. We'll talk more about Shivika and her experience at Soil. Before that, let us actually move to, I think I'll talk to Kingshuk Tiku. Kingshuk Tiku has been one of my favorite students, though he is an HR student. He is current. Oh, okay. So I should not tell that. So you will yourself tell your story, Kingshuk. Before Soil,
Sure, sir.
during Soil, and after Soil, briefly.
Thanks, sir. First of all, I'm glad to hear that I'm still your one of your favorite students.
I said you were.
And
You are not my favorite now.
sorry, sir, couldn't hear you.
You were my favorite student. Now you are not. Now you are my favorite alumni.
Okay. Okay. Thanks, sir. And very warm welcome to all the panelists and those who are listening to us today. So basically, I started my career as a business analyst. Post my, I had done BTech in production engineering, and I had MBA in operations, and worked for a couple of years as a business analyst with 3i Infotech. It was a past subsidiary of ICICI Group. But somewhere I always felt that this is not the right domain for me. And I was always intrigued about behavioral sciences as a domain, and HR being a part of it. A lot of concepts that revolve around HR. And so I took up HR as my field of interest, and I joined Soil for the same. I was very interested when I looked at the curriculum.
He seems to have a connectivity issue. He got muted. You got muted, Kingshuk.
You're on mute, Kinshuk. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm back now. Okay. So before joining Soil, I did my research and came across Soil as a institute where I could feel that the necessary skill sets that I need to be an effective human resource professional, an institute can help me with that. Looking into the teaching methodology,
Yeah, I think there's a bit of a connectivity issue. Yeah, so Kingshuk, you can talk about what are you doing currently?
sorry, sir. I think I can't hear
Yeah, so
you.
there's a connectivity issue. Yes, you can switch off. You switch off a video. I think that would be better.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. Now you can share what are you doing currently.
Okay, so currently I'm working as a human resource business partner for Mahindra and Mahindra, and I'm specifically looking after auto sector manufacturing function of Mahindra and Mahindra. And so I think that's pretty much it.
Yeah. So briefly, what I could gather was Kingshuk had an operations background, and from there he found his calling in HR. And after Soil, he in fact joined Mahindra and is doing a great job as far as HR is concerned. So Now, Kingshuk, you can put on your video. When you speak, you will just put off your video, right? Now, before we move to the third panelist, I'll just, so for the information of the participants here, attendees, you can have your questions ready. You can have your questions. You can type it out of the chat box. We would be answering those questions through our panelists as and when they come up. The questions can be pertaining to the admissions process, the environment at SOIL, what happens, what background. You can talk anything under the sky as far as admissions are concerned or the SOIL program is concerned. Now we'll move to Boishali Datta Gupta. Boishali Datta Gupta is another alumni of ours who has done great wonders here at SOIL. Now I think she's doing a great job outside SOIL also. So Boishali, before SOIL, during SOIL, after SOIL, briefly.
Yeah, thank you, sir. So before SOIL, I was a software developer at Wells Fargo for 1.5 years. Post that, I left that and I did another 1.5 years of wedding planning, which is completely different. After that, I wanted to do an MBA from an institute that usually understands, makes us understand or trains regarding how the industry currently works apart from what happens in the books. So when I came and I saw the SOIL website, I think it just aligned with me. And actually, I did not appear for any other MBA college apart from SOIL. So SOIL is the only college I applied to, and I got into it. I chose to do my MBA in HR, and after the course was completed, I am currently working in Cognizant as an HR business partner. So that's how, and the best part about it is a lot of people have confusion regarding, you've done engineering, how will you go to HR? So my placement was finally done in all the technology projects. So when I am in an HR role for technology projects like Google, Salesforce, etc. So the idea that I know development and I know what the project does also helps in, working for HR. So that's how the transformation happened, and the placement also happened in a very, good company.
Very good.
So that's about it.
So we have a software development background for Boishali and for Shivika. And we have operations background for Kingshuk. Now we have a unique background. Sandeep comes with a hospitality background. He's an IHM pass out from hospitality to HR. Sandeep, come on, let us hear your story.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you everyone for joining us. Thanks SOIL for giving us the opportunity for this. So my name is Sandeep Kumar. I come from hospitality background. I am a graduate from IHM Pusa, and later on I worked with Marriott for almost 2 years. After that, in between, I thought of moving to either HR or L&D. Finally, I decided to opt for core HR, and that's how SOIL, like Boishali, I only appeared for SOIL. That is the entrance exam which SOIL has, and apart from that, I didn't opt for any other MBA college or any other institute, because one of our senior alumni, he suggested me for SOIL because he was placed with Tata Steel. So that's how I landed up at SOIL, and currently I'm working with Mahindra Holidays as an HR VP for resorts pan India. And there is something which I was looking for before entering into SOIL, and I think that's how pretty much I have achieved in this 1 year duration, and finally landed up with the corporates. Whatever we have learned theoretically over there, we are implementing in the practical life. That's it. Thank you.
Very good, Sandeep. So, I will just request my attendees to note that Sandeep is working in the hospitality sector. And for the last 2 years, as you all know, because of the pandemic, hospitality sector was the maximum affected industry. And even today, if you look into it, people are a bit wary whether they should actually go and stay in a hotel or not. Now, you can ask typical questions to him like, what happened? Was there a downsizing? Was there salary cuts? Is it difficult to move from hospitality to maybe a non-hospitality role? All those questions, Sandeep can also answer you. But before that, let me actually, I'll just inform you that there was one more alumni of ours Faraz Ahmed, who was supposed to join, but just now got a message that he has an urgent client meeting. He would be joining maybe in 10-15 minutes time once the meeting is over. So once Faraz comes, I'll talk to Faraz also about his background. Now, let us actually have some more excitement. So let us understand from Kevin, what is the first step of the admissions process at SOIL? What is the first step?
Thank you, sir.
So by stepwise, we'll actually have the first step and we'll try to understand from the alumni what has been their experience in that step.
The first step is basically about applying to the SOIL through our application process. So we have a very detailed application process wherein we capture minute details about the prospective candidates, his work experience, his education details. Apart from that, we also make sure we have an essay which is mandatory for an applicant to write that. And we also have a very unique question of life mapping in the application form. So through life mapping, we try to gauge the candidate's highs and lows in his life and how he dealt with those situations. So that is first step of applying, like if he wants to join SOIL. So that is the first step of applying to the SOIL.
Okay, so Kevin, if I understand properly, this first step of application is 100% online application?
Yes, yes.
So there is no physical form that a person is supposed to fill?
No, sir.
And the information that they have to give them in the form is about their past experience, their past qualifications.
Their education detail, yes.
Yeah, and the most important thing that you said was there are a few questions which are more or less essays.
Right.
That is something that you have to write. And that is what really, in fact, makes a difference whether your application will be shortlisted or not.
Exactly. That's right, sir.
And the second thing you said was the life map, where you talk about the candidate's high points and low points in life. So the candidate has to reflect back and probably think of all those points when he was the happiest or when he was the saddest.
Right.
Isn't it?
Right, sir.
So I think, the latest, person to have gone through this would be probably Boishali. Boishali, do you remember the life map and the essays?
Yeah, I remember it.
If you can briefly, share a few things about it.
Yeah, so obviously this is not expected out of any entrance exam, right? Usually you would know that, okay, you'll have to do a number of profit loss and mostly comprehension essays, things like that. But then life map thing was very unique. I was myself surprised, and I'll tell you, probably in the process, you will actually realize yourself, you will actually reflect back on your life and think about, oh, this is something I don't think about much. This is something probably I should, I should have done better. So it is actually a self-reflecting kind of an exam is what I would say. And it's a personality exam. I think what the college tries to understand is what kind of a person are you, and are you, there with the values of SOIL? Are you capable of, how much learning capacity do you have? Not on the basis of what you already know. Probably how much are you willing to change and learn in the organization? So after the exam, you'll probably know more about yourself than giving an exam. So that is what my comment would be.
Very good. And Shivaka, would you remember any of the questions or the way you answered them?
Well, I wanted to add on Boshali's point, the reflection and the introspection part. So each day in SOIL, you will introspect yourself and you will reflect on that. And as each day passes, you will get to know yourself better when you're in SOIL, starting from the admission process and the last day of SOIL. So each day is designed like that you will get to know yourself better, and you will analyze why you are thinking like that. So yes, I do remember life mapping. So the major part of it was what is the point in your life when you are most happy, and what is the point in your life when you are least happy. And there are points like what are the points that you regret, and what are the points that you really happy and you want those moments in your life to be there. So these are the high and low map of your life that was there. So yeah, it was really surprising, because you cannot think these points on your daily life. When someone told you to think about this and write it, at that time only you will think it.
Yeah,
So
very
that's
good.
an amazing process.
So one more thing, like, one question which I remember, like they keep changing the questions, but one question which I remember was about, suppose you are working in an organization, and which was the time when you probably had the biggest challenge, and how did you address that challenge? Do you
Correct,
remember
correct.
this sort of a question,
Yes,
Shivata?
there was a question which is related to conflicts in team,
Right,
how you manage the conflicts in your team. So through
right,
that, what I understood, the team wanted to analyze your behavior. Are you very aggressive, or you handle with a communication part? How do you handle such conflicts in your team? Are you collaborative or not? These questions are asked to analyze these things.
very good. So, Kevin, the next step, what is the next step after the application?
Yes, sir. So this year also we have also introduced a video essay wherein we will be asking a very typical question, and the candidate has to make a short video of him introducing and answering that question.
Okay,
So that
okay,
is one that we have made an addition towards it. So once the application form is filled online, so he has to, the next step is he has to appear for a soil's internal exam, which is called Soil Appreciation Test Tool. So
yeah,
this is a STAT exam, very different from what the other colleges ask for you to do, whether it is a CAT or a XAT or what. So this is an internal test. Even if the candidates have given the the CAT exam or any other competitive exam, they have to appear for this test. Now the reason behind is that the soil believes in some philosophy values on which it stands. So based on those values, this exam has been prepared. So it is more of a psychometric analysis test wherein we try to understand the candidate's personality, how resilient he is, how aggressive he is in his approach, his communication style. So when we talk about like whether a candidate is introvert or extrovert, so beyond that, what are the qualities here, how good is in this aspects. So those things are mapped through STAT exam. And that is one of the, yes, sir.
okay. So, Dheeraj, you have been a part of the admission process in other B schools also. So I think other B schools do not follow this process of a psychometric test, the one that we use here, which is called the Soil Talent Appreciation Test. Now, do you think this sort of a test is done anywhere else in other institutes?
Probably not, sir. I've not gone through this. But yeah, traditionally, normally I've seen institutes following that traditional method of conducting this, filling the applications and then PI or rather group
Right.
discussions.
Right. So I'll just tell you, and this is something which probably Sandeep, Dheeraj, you can also probably get to learn this, that the soil talent appreciation process is primarily has two aspects in it. One is the quantitative aspect and another is the qualitative aspect. So we look at the personality as well as we see some of the competence aspects of it. So tests like CAT and GMAT, they score you on your IQ, but they do not give any emphasis on EQ. Whereas we believe that EQ and IQ are both important, and our STAT test has elements of both EQ and IQ. So if some of the attendees who have questions on this, you can ask subsequently, you can note it down and we can actually have more questions on it. Third step after the STAT examination.
The candidates, once the candidate is shortlisted after the application, and when the screening, he goes to the screening of application and the STAT exam, then he has to go through a personal interview, as well as we have, rather than we are having a group discussion, we have a business simulation round, wherein a case study is given to the candidates and they are distributed among the groups and they have to discuss the case study. So rather than a GD, we have this case study analysis as well. So these are two, and when it comes to personal interview, we make sure we have external panels as well as an alumni on the panel. So there is a balance of judging the candidate. So we also have a mix of panels when we take the interview. So this is the next step.
So I think this system has evolved in the last 2 years. Earlier, we never used to have that business simulation, but from the industry, we got this feedback that we should actually have a small simulation also, which will help us judge the students better. And this particular simulation is given to the students at random when they come here. for the interviews they are given to them. Even in case there's a virtual interview, we still give them a simulation. And then they are observed by certain observers, and we observe how they are reacting amongst each other. So basically, it is an interpersonal group process which we observe. And that gives us an idea about whether the particular person is able to handle conflict, whether he is able to work as a team, whether he is able to aggressively put forth his ideas, whether he can negotiate with his team members. All these traits are actually judged, and they are also given marks on that. And then they are moved on to the interview process. And the interview process, we do not call it really the interview, we call it the talent appreciation process. SOIL has a unique methodology which says that it is not about knowing what you don't know, it is about knowing what you know. If I know what a student knows, then I can actually use that particular strength to work on the areas on which he has to improve. So that is why the whole philosophy of appreciating the talent of a particular candidate and then using that to see to it that how can his areas of improvement be improved. So I don't know, maybe Sandeep or maybe Kingshuk, both, any of you who remember your talent appreciation process, the interview process, if you can share something, it would be nice for the participants. I don't know whether you remember any of those things or not. Kingshuk.
As far as I remember, so it's been some years now, but I think it was a simulation exercise wherein, so basically what I understand the relevance of such an exercise is, okay, we may write about ourselves in the SOP, something may be mentioned, right? But are we what we really feel we are? We come to know about it when we are put into a situation wherein our conscious mind
Just put off your video. Put off your video. Switch off your video. Okay, I think Kingshuk, you can either switch off your video, then your voice will be clearer. Okay, Sandeep, do you remember something?
Sir, regarding this questions you are asking, so I think it was somewhere related to the facts which we ourselves don't know, and many of the time when we are supposed to answer those questions, maybe in that particular situation, we came to know about ourselves, and for me personally, it's difficult to answer. But later on, I realized that I am this kind of personality, and when finally the result of STAT came, so that time I realized what kind of personality I am. And when I cross questioned the same thing with a few of my friends, they also mentioned the same thing, that this is absolutely right. Some of the time we don't realize about ourselves. We normally comment on other people, or we give feedback about other person. But it is very important to know about ourselves as well, and that is what STAT test is mainly focused on, to know about personality, what kind of person you are, and whether you are suitable for the core values or not.
Right. Good. So we have given the start. We have gone through the simulation. We have gone through the talent appreciation process, and there are some questions also coming up in the chat box, it seems. Before we take the questions, let me actually educate the participants. SOIL has a one-year program which started 13 years back in 2009, and for the last 3 years we also have started a 2-year program which is an AICTE approved program, which is at Manesar. So we have 2 programs as of now, a 1-year program and a 2-year program. In the 1-year program, we are not looking at CAT or GMAT or any specific All India test. It is basically based on your STAT score, the SOIL Talent Appreciation Test score. Whereas in the 2-year program, we look at the All India scores, whether it is a CAT or a GMAT or a ZAT, we look at that. because that is an AICTE approved program, and the regulatory authority mandates us to have, an admission which is based on an all India test.
So one more thing, just 1 year program is for working professionals having experience more than 2 years.
Yes. So 1 year 1 year program is basically for people with minimum of 2 years of experience. The average experience that we have is somewhere around 3.5 to 4 years. Whereas in the 2 year program, freshers can also join, though we have quite a few experienced people also in the 2 year program. So now I think we can take a few questions from the chat box, Kevin and Dheeraj. And you can actually ask the alumni also to, have.
Sure, sir. Well, to start with, I think, Kevin, if you can help us with the first one, and with the help of alumni, where Vedika has a question. Are those mapping or essays questions general or specific, wherein we have to mention about some specific event occurred with them? So if I can take the...
I'll answer that. Well, Vedika, I mean, the life mapping question, everybody has different experiences in their life. So it's a general question wherein you have to map your own life. What were the highs and lows in your life? And how did you handle those situations? So it's a general question specific to each individual. So there is no like a specific event that has occurred to us. So you have to mention your own life, the highs and lows in your life. I hope that answers your question. I think we have a question from Soumya Dixit. How can we apply for SOIL, and is it necessary to give CAT for admission in SOIL? Well, Soumya, as ANB sir has mentioned, that you don't have to give any CAT exam to apply for, because we have our internal exam STAT. As we mentioned, we focus on the emotional quotient apart from the intelligent question. So you don't have to appear for the CAT exam.
If she's looking for the 1 year program, particularly, if you're looking for the PGDM 2 years AICTE approved program, then appearing for the either one of the entrance exam which is regulated by AICTE or defined by AICTE, like CAT, ZAT, MAT, followed by CMAT, then yes, one entrance exam would be compulsory. And if you have missed the CAT and if you have registered for the ZAT, then probably we'll count your ZAT score. If not, do register yourself for the coming CMAT exam. But one entrance exam would be compulsory for any student applying for the PGDM 2 years program.
Good.
We have few questions like from Rajveer and Abhin. They're asking for replacement stats for the PGDM program and the placement. Well, I think this is regarding the admission process, so may not be the right arena to talk about the placement, because we have already displayed the details on the website, so you can check on the SOIL website for the PGDM and PGPM program.
Yeah, but still share.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you, sir. Still, we can share something good that is happening this year as compared to last year. If I say last year, yes, somewhere the pandemic hit the entire vertical of industries, if I say, from where we ended up with 8.61 as in average last year. This year, currently, we are running with 10. 15 as in highest as compared to last year. This year, we are almost reached 20 lakhs this year. So somewhere it is sounding good. And by the end of the placement drive, which is running currently, I think we'll be sounding with some better figures there. Keep yourself updated by visiting the website. And I think the applied candidates will definitely be getting all this information over there, with the email also, in a very frequent time, I think. So there's something good, that is this average package has already gone up this year.
Having said that, I'll just add one more thing, Dheeraj, here.
Yes, sir.
Remember, SOIL, we are not actually a placement agency. So we are known for our education. And what we say is your placement is an outcome of 4 factors: your past qualification, your past experience, whatever is your learning at SOIL, and what is the type of attitude you have. Now, we cannot do anything about your past education qualification, and we cannot do much about your past qualification. But we can definitely work on our attitude, and we can give you the best of the learning at the soil program, whether it is 1 year or 2 years. So if you actually spend your time reasonably well in the 1 year or a 2 year program, you go through the entire curriculum and follow the guidelines given by the instructors properly, I think you can probably excel in whichever field you are. Having said that, the sectors which have opened up massively during the pandemic and after that also, they're basically the IT sector companies. So, the recruitment has been very good in the last 2 years. This year also, the recruitment is actually very good. And those who are good in their studies and they have performed well, they probably, I don't think, would be, too disappointed as far as placements are concerned. The figures are there on the website, and you can always see that.
Taking up the question put down by Loe Tamra, if I mentioned the name, CA Loe Tamra, right? Of percentage of CAT. Normally, we do not follow predefined cutoff of the entrance exam. Rather, we are judging students on selecting students on profile based, which would include from aptitude, mapping aptitude to attitude, followed by the other attributes that we're looking in a particular candidate related to their critical thinking, creative analysis, and other aspects from personality to comm skill to writing skills. So there's no predefined cutoff, but yes, performance in that aptitude test, say CAT or XAT, to a higher extent of percentile will definitely help the student to get through the entire process, because we have weightages system defined for each parameters. So the moment we see the final scores, adding entire performance of from the GD, GE or PI, GE stands for the group exercise of design thinking, and then group discussion, personal interview, followed by your academic and entrance. So there's no predefined cutoff, Loe Tamra, but yes, performance in all the parameters will definitely help you to get through the process. And taking up Amrita's question, deadline for the application through NMAT, we consider NMAT for screening purpose with say 180 to 200 score students can apply for the program. 11th of December would be the deadline for submitting the applications, and probably we'll be starting with the interview round process from the 3rd week of December. If so that answers you, Amrita.
So Amrita, this is specifically, Dheeraj is talking about the 2 year program. In the 1 year program, as we said earlier, these scores are actually invalid. You have to give our test. So if you're planning for a 2 year program, then definitely, as Dheeraj said, December onwards, probably we'll be starting the interviews.
Yes.
Then the next question is, what is the next question, Kevin?
What I can read through is from Sai Srinivas. While going through SOIL website, he came across about this design thinking and liberal arts, which actually grabbed his major attention toward this. Would love to hear about this. Okay. About the liberal arts and design thinking.
Okay.
So yes, sir.
So maybe Boishali, do you remember anything about the design thinking workshop?
Yes, I remember. I'm not sure if Vijay Ghai sir is still there, but if he's there,
he's still there,
all of you will meet a personality that you will love. Vijay Ghai sir teaches design thinking in SOIL, and he will probably open up multiple folds of your personality, and you will realize that you are much more than what you think. What Shivika said, right? Every day is it's like a cube that opens up and keeps opening up and keeps opening up, right? Design thinking course is basically around how thinking or feeling to a certain particular problem takes ahead to find a solution to it, rather than A plus B equal to C. There are a lot of things that are taken into consideration. You'll understand something called as empathy mapping, which even till now, when I work in Cognizant with certain problems that comes up, there is something called that empathy mapping that you'll learn, and what happens is you will always realize that your solutions are an edge higher or one step higher than what the general public is thinking. So this is something that design thinking will do to your brain. So all of you who join SOIL and get this opportunity, make sure that, you know, design thinking classes you never miss and you enjoy all of it. The moment a professor enters and starts his presentation, you'll love it. I think Shivika can add more on this.
Yes. So there are two major learnings I had from Vijay sir. One, his presentation skills, amazing. And secondly, he taught us you don't need to think complicated things. Think simply and bring the solutions. Always simplicity brings the best solution. You don't need to complicate things much. So learning is huge. It's amazing.
So I'll just add one last thing. Design thinking is a problem solving approach, which is followed by all the top companies now. Steve Jobs used it for the first time at Apple, and he was a Stanford dropout. You know, Uber uses it, Make My Trip uses it, Infosys uses it. You know, every company is nowadays using it. I think Kingshuk is also using it in Mahindra's in different ways. And Mahindra Resorts, Sandeep is also probably using design thinking in some form or other. And maybe if some more questions would come on this, maybe I would ask Kingshuk and Sandeep also to address those questions. But I think we have a long list of questions. So Kevin, you can look into the next question.
Sure, sir. So the next question is maths code considered? I think we have answered that question, that for 2-year programs, yes, those scores are considered. For 1-year program, you have to give the STAT exam. Moving on to next question, can freshers apply for 1-year program? Well, we have 2 programs. One is PGPM HR and PG General Management PGPM. For General Management PGPM, we need minimum 2 years of experience. Yes, for a PGPM HR 1-year program, if you are exceptionally good enough and the panels think that we can consider it, yes, then freshers can apply, but it's an exceptional case considering if you are good enough. Yes, but for the 2-year program, which is basically for freshers, they can definitely apply there. Okay, then there's a question from Satyam Kumar. I found on website that candidates should have a full-time undergraduate degree completion certificate before 15 June 2022. But due to COVID, my session is little delayed, and if degree will not complete in June, what will I do? Am I eligible? How we did this? How to answer this question? I mean,
the moment we get the valid document from Satyam, it will be considered. We'll understand.
So can he apply? I mean, like he.
Yeah.
Okay, so you can apply, Satyam.
You can apply. You will get a provisional admission, subject to that you submit the documents before the details have to be submitted to the ICT. Again, question from Vedika: how beneficial SOIL has been for freshers with nil and industry experience? Well, again, as I said, no, this is something we probably Vaishali can say. Some of our batchmates were freshers. Do you remember any of them, and how are they faring?
Yeah, so I'll talk about HR. I won't talk about the other aspects. So for HR, anybody who changes the line or is a fresher to the project, HR would be a completely new subject for anybody, right? So yes, opportunities will come, but probably you will start at a generalist level, which even I started. I started my domain as an HR generalist itself, as an HR business partner, and looking into all the aspects. So HR, whether you join as an experienced or as somebody new, it has to start from a very basic. Otherwise, it can't be placed at a level which is above knowing the generalist. So I would say that even if you are a fresher, it's good enough that you go ahead and but make sure that you understand the basic really well. The basics of HR needs to be understood really well for the placements. If you if you think about the placements, you'll have to be very clear on the basics. Okay, for the 2-year program, freshers have been extremely successful. I think almost 50% students on the 2-year program, they are freshers, and since they have no baggage, companies are willing to take them fast.
they are quick learners. So I think they have probably bagged some of the best jobs. The placement is going on. I think Dheeraj would have the figures also. They have actually done very good this year in the placements. The freshers have also done good.
Just want to add on, sir, Sandeep this side.
Yeah.
So I am talking about my batch, HRLP 19 batch, wherein we had 3-4 freshers. I want to name few of them. Ashwani Kumar, he is currently working with M&M, currently at R&D plant in Chennai. And the other one is Shavya Gupta. She was also placed with one of the tech companies. Later on, she moved to Byju's.
Now she's going to own Byju's as a business partner.
Yes, sir. So it's very easy, I would say, for a person who is a fresher, because he is coming up with a different mindset altogether. And companies normally prefer having these employees in their organization, because they don't come, like sir mentioned, they don't come with the packages. And it is very important for learning that you unlearn first. So for a person like me or others, it is slightly difficult to unlearn, but for them it is nothing to unlearn. They will directly go on for learning only. That's it.
Good. Very good. So now the
Yes.
next question.
There are a few repetitive questions, so I'll take some selective questions, the unique ones. So there's a question from Sumit that can you please highlight on how did the college placement committee performed in the pandemic during the peak years of 2021? Well, Sumit, it was completely a virtual session for us. I mean, like when in terms of classrooms and the placements, there were 100% placements done through the college placement committee. So you can check the figures on the website. You can also connect with the alumni for more details on that. So question from Kumar Rohit, is 1-year program has the same weightage as 2-year program, and any difference in them? Well, both are different programs. The 1-year program is for working professionals, while 2-year program is mostly for 2-year freshers, as well as, yes, definitely working professionals can apply. But yes, both are different. Both the selections are different. The criteria are different. Again, question from Vedika, is the talent appreciation round the final one, or are there any further processes? Well, talent, when we talk about talent, it includes all, it starts from application to giving stat exam, then the business simulation and interview. Yeah, after the interview, the grading happens, and then we announce the final results. There's one typical question from Rajarshi Day. I have an experience of 10 years in sales and retail sector. Does this make an issue in the final outcome? Sir, would you like to take this question, or shall I answer?
I have an experience of 10 years in sales and retail sector. Does this make an issue? So let me tell you, Rajarshi, we generally prefer people who have an experience of somewhere around 4 to 5 years. The upper end is 7 years. If you have more than 7 years, then generally the placement becomes an issue, because companies do not want to actually hire people with too much amount of baggage experience. Having said that, we in the past also, we have had people who had 8-9 years of experience. And last year only, I think we had somebody who had 10 years of experience in HR, and she got a very good role. Now, if you want to go back,
yes.
Prashantini, yes, Prashantini, yes, she actually got one of the best placements. Now, if you want to go back to the same sector, and if you have experience which is significant, I think you stand a good chance to go back to the sector at a much better role. So it all depends on your profile. Maybe you can share your profile, go through the entire process, and then maybe we can personally advise you on whether you stand a good chance. You can have a conversation with our placements director. He can probably help you understand the opportunities depending upon your past experience. So yes, there is definitely a possibility, but only subject to knowing your profile. So you can share your profile.
Thank you, sir. So there's a question from Vedika. She asked that being a fresher, will my undergraduate achievements or profile built up during the period make me stand out from the other applicants, or is it only the stat rounds that will be given more weightage? As I again said, that if you have some good unique achievements during your undergraduation, we do consider that as well, apart from the stat. Stat is basically to appreciate what kind of a personality you are. So definitely that will be taken into consideration for the selection criteria.
So there is one question Anshika has asked. Sir, I need to know brief about soil, what we had to do in soil. I think Kingshuk, you can answer this. What did you do through the 1 year? How many classes did you bunk and how many classes you were not supposed to bunk?
For me, sir, personally, I think to experience soil, you need to put your head and heart both into it. Because if you go only by head, then also the experience is not, you cannot fathom the immensity and the beauty of what soil offers. For me, the experience.
You just switch off your video, Kingshuk, your bandwidth is low. Switch off your video.
Really sorry, sir. I think some
Good.
trouble.
No.
So I think the experience, you like I said, you need to put your head and heart into it, and the rigor is so much that you have to. There is no other option. You have to put your head and heart into it, and the learning is so much every day. It would be I think for me it was a delight, a wow experience when I went through various courses, like as Boshali mentioned about design thinking. So it is a very interesting thing. You might have heard of very common subjects, okay, in HR or in marketing or in some other domain. There will be subjects which are common, those are run every day. But design thinking, leadership sessions, I think apart from that, many other courses of that sort. It will open various dimensions of what you are yet to explore about yourself. And I think the case studies that we went through, that was amazing. I still remember a case study wherein we had to enact out what was there in the case. It was, I think the name was Cirque du Soleil. So wherein we had to enact out what the case was about, a circus company. So to get an experience of how the employees of the organization feel, to get to understand it in the right context, we had to perform it in the classroom. The way they used to perform their this program. So it really blows your mind, the kind of kinesthetic experience, I would say, that we get into. We have to I think there's a lot of emphasis on metacognition. You have to think about what you are thinking. Sometimes we are not very conscious of what we are thinking. Teachers will encourage you to think. We'll have round tables where we'll sit together and discuss about a topic, and we'll have thorough discussions. And believe me, I would have never heard a teacher saying that you know enough, you have asked many questions. No, go on as much as you want to ask. I think I may have bothered ANB sir so much with questions. So such is the experience of soil, and two amazing learning experience.
A few more questions.
Yes, sir. There's a question from Amrita. What is the batch size and mentor to student ratio for the 2-year program? So we have very small batch sizes so that attention is paid to each individual candidate. And when we talk about mentorship, it's 1-to-1 ratio for the 2-year program. And Dheeraj sir, is it the same for the PGDM?
For the PGDM, we have been allotted 180 seats. And the mentor, it's 1:10, so every 10 students has a faculty. Other than that, definitely there will be mentors from alumni, industry experts, forming a regular faculty, 1:10.
Yeah, so I'll just clarify what Dheeraj wants to say is internal faculty member 1:10, but industry mentor, we prefer that you get 1:1 mentor. But maybe there are some exceptional cases where a senior leader is there, he would actually take 2 students under him. So you have 2 sets of mentors. One is an internal mentor who's a faculty, and an external mentor who's an industry leader who would be mentoring you, and they would have generally 1 or 2 students under them. Yes. This is for both 1 year as well as for 2 years.
And I think they have we also got alumni mentors.
Alumni mentors also, yes. So we have alumni mentors also.
Okay, there's a question like any suggestion from the alumni for the essay, like things what we should highlight and talk about the most? So anybody would like to answer?
I think be as, I can just suggest, Baki alumni can always talk. I would
Yeah.
suggest in the essays, be as original and honest as possible. Don't try to fabricate information. Be honest, whatever you are, that will help us to judge you better. So don't try to cook up stories, because then you will be caught in the interview. So be as genuine as possible. Isn't that true, Sandeep?
Absolutely right, sir. Just be what you are and don't flamber something which you want to show and correctly mention you will be caught in the interview. So the interviews will be aligned very soon after this essays.
Okay, there's one more question. The candidate asked that he's from mechanical engineering background, fresher, having 90 plus 90 in academics, and he's asking for a scholarship available for PGDM 2-year program. His CAT hasn't gone well. Is it possible to get admission?
We have categories of.
Your voice is.
You're not audible, sir.
Am I not now?
It's very low.
Okay, just let me just check my back.
No, it is okay.
Am I audible now, Kevin?
Yes.
Okay. As I was telling, we have a few categories of scholarship schemes available. One is the merit-based, and other than that, there are a unique, you can say personality-based, plus few falling under need-based, if I say EWS category, and then one is in the defense background. I talk about the student that we are considering now about the academic part and not at the common entrance test going a little bit downside. The student has to appear the entire interview process, get selected, and after the enrollment will be open the scholarship module. Based on that, the student will have to appear for a separate interview round process. After the panel members, you can say shortlist this. So there are scholarship schemes available, but will be depending upon the kind of interview they appear.
Okay. So there's a question from Anshika. Can you please tell me which exam I have to give in the admission of soil? So Anshika, again, it's whether you want to go for 1-year program or 2-year program. Depending on that, you'll have to, if it's a 1-year program, then it's an internal stat exam. Or if it's a 2-year program, it could be CAT, MATSAT, the exam that you have to appear for. There's a very typical question, like unique question, is SPL conducted every year? Well, yeah, we couldn't do it last year, yes, but this year, yes, this Sunday, coming Sunday, we are conducting it. So you're invited for the event.
Yes,
Satyam.
everybody is invited. All of you, please come over there. You will meet some of the current batch students, plus the alumni.
Well, I guess.
Royal Premier League. Is very particular about SPL. So.
Because your audio is a bit disturbed.
I think most of the questions are covered, sir. There
How
are
was the residential experience at Soil? Boshali, quickly, how was the residential experience? Khana kya mila khane ko?
Experience at Soil was, it will go like, you are running.
Residential.
Oh, rehne ka. Oh, okay. So see, wherever you are staying, there won't be any problem with the stay because the rooms are also big enough. There would be a balcony attached, a washroom attached, a geyser attached, 2 wardrobes there for you and your roommates. So that's not a problem. Huh?
All the facilities would be available.
I just explained it in detail. And food would be there, breakfast, lunch, dinner, all of it will be there in the kitchen. If you want to cook, you can also go ahead and cook. And it's not really far from college. In winters, you can walk and go, but you'll be late. So take an auto and go. Don't miss the time of 8:30. And otherwise, it's a good experience. You'll sit down, you'll work for all the projects late throughout the night. It'll be a good experience.
No, what typically I think Sai wanted to know was, can they party late night or not?
Yeah, you can party.
You can party. But then don't miss the 8:30 morning circle, huh?
8:30 morning circle, do not
party.
Entire day is party at Soil. Yes, very good.
Soil is an entire day party.
Okay, one more important question from Akash Agarwal. Can you say something about global immersion? What countries and what institutes are you guys tied up with? So would you like to take this?
So, we have a tie-up with a couple of international universities, but most commonly, we have a tie-up with MIP Italy. So students actually go to Milan. Unfortunately, for the last 2 years, they could not go. I think Boishali, you had gone.
Sir, actually, I didn't go, but Shizenkan students came from Japan to us. That time I was coordinating with them.
Coordinating. So for 2 years, actually, students could not go to Milan also because I think because of the pandemic, and Italy was one of the most severely affected countries. I don't know how it will pan out the coming year. If it is better, then maybe students can travel there. So generally, they select some 5-6 students from Soil. So we have a credit exchange program. They go there and do a particular course there. It could be for a period of 1 week to a period of 1 month, depending upon which courses you are doing and how spread out they are. Apart from that, I think we have a tie-up with Royal Roads University of Canada, and Shizanken University is obviously a partner of ours. So students from Shizanken generally come to India and they spend some time with us along with an immersion in India. So there our students actually help them. So this is the immersion program that we have. At the 2-year program, I think Dheeraj used, because 2-year program could not get that opportunity. They also have a tie-up, but I think next year you will probably be working out specifically for students.
Yeah, it's the same one. I hope my voice is clear, sir, now.
Yeah, a bit better.
Yeah, it's the same thing. But then yes, the student did their student exchange program in virtual mode last year. They couldn't go to the
Okay, there's one question from Anshika. Okay, in which city you guys are conducting now? She has just left it there. So you're conducting in the sense, if you're talking about interviews, we are at present conducting through online Zoom because of this COVID scenario. So once you fill your application form and give your STAT exam, you'll receive the notification, the details for the interview, personal interview, which will happen on Zoom.
So for the PGDM 2 years program, we are open for both physical and online. There are a few dates to be floated the moment we closed on the deadline of application, that's 11th of December. And based on the kind of applications receiving from the geographical diversity, we'll try to announce, or rather we'll plan to move down to that city for conducting interview. Else we have at campus and in virtual mode.
Yes, I think. What is class timing and attendance mandatory in Soil? Well, class timing, as it's at 8:30 sharp, we begin, and it goes on till 5:30 to 6 p.m. late evening, and after that, assignments, presentations. So get ready for some hard work with lots of fun. I guess I think we have covered most of the questions, sir.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we are out practically on time also.
Yes.
How many industry visits in PGDM 2-year program? So, Manu, I think, is asking this question about industry visits. So, Dheeraj, you have any idea, or shall I give them a brief idea?
Yeah, when everything was in the physical and normal mode, we were able to conduct at least 2 industry visits per term. So close to around 15 to 16 by the end you complete your entire 2-year PGDM program. 15 to 20 industry visits. Physical industry visits, if I say.
Good.
Yes,
I think we have done with the questions, and I'm sure the audience must have got some clarification on their questions. I would like to thank the participants for having come here, had their questions and doubts, and raised them. And I would definitely like to thank my dear alumni. You actually took out time and came here, and it's so nice to see that you are, giving back to your college in whatever manner you can. Knowing that I give you a short notice whenever I want you, I give you a very short notice. So I hope you do not mind that, and you will continue supporting your school in the best possible way. Thanks a lot once again, Kevin, and thanks a lot, Dheeraj, for being a part of this webinar.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.